Hello everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon. We are live. I am Giovanni, and this is a new episode of the Met Report, a show about movies, entertainment, and television news. So for today's episode, there's actually a few things that I want to address here today. The first one here is we got some news about Fantastic Four, Reed Richards casting. Frankly, I'm kind of a little tired of talking about Fantastic Four and the casting news and the rumors and stuff like that, but apparently this one sounds like it might be concrete, more solid, and apparently Pedro Pascal has been offered the role for Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, for the Fantastic Four movie. I'm going to talk about that in just a bit here. There's also some information that a lot of the fans are not really pleased with this idea of Pedro Pascal playing the character, but like I said, I'll give you my thoughts on that one in just a bit here. I'm also doing my non-spoiler review of Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. So is it a see it, stream it, or skip it? I'm going to give you my thoughts on this movie that just came out last night. Today will be its full day of release, so we'll talk about that in a bit as well. Also, Hot Toys news and the under the Figures Talk segment. I thought that there wasn't going to be any more news for the rest of the week because it was kind of slow on the figures one scale community side this week. But today they dropped the Ahsoka the White Hot Toys figure, and we'll talk about that as well. And then some other releases that were dropped or were announced today and then earlier this week regarding Hot Toys, so we'll talk about that as well. And the Gingerbread FOXY Funko Pop giveaway, it is still open, so follow the instructions and so forth to enter this giveaway. And also the Spider-Man with the Santa hat Funko Pop giveaway, that one is also open. It opened last week, so enter if you haven't done so already. Also, another giveaway, the Hot Toys Cosbaby, the Batman, the Robert Pattinson version, that one is open. And this one I think I might actually give away sometime next week. I'll give you guys more details as to how we're actually going to move forward with this giveaway here. It's probably going to be live either on YouTube or on Instagram, but this giveaway is probably going to be announced next week. There's also a couple of other giveaways that I am announcing. One of them is opening soon, and then the other one will be opening today, which is the Jack Santa Funko. So that one will be opening later today, and I'll give you guys more details about that a little later. But like always, guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, for future content, future giveaways, and so forth. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate if you subscribe to the Movie Canon, or both. Follow the Instagram page at the Movie Canon, again, for future content, future giveaways, and stuff like that. So go ahead and do that if you haven't done so already. And to the ones who have already done so, thank you so very much. And like always, guys, whenever I'm doing something live, if you guys could let me know, if the people who are watching this right now live, if you guys let me know if there's any issue with the sound, the music is too loud, the picture looks weird, or whatever the case might be. If you guys can just let me know, if there's any problems there or whatever. So that was it for the little intro that I had here for the Met Report. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. And excuse me. So again, as I mentioned earlier, we got this report. It originally came from Deadline. I'm gonna use part of the Screen Rant information because the page just looks nicer to present, so that's why I'm kind of using that. But we got this report, this information, that Pedro Pascal was offered the role of Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, for the Fantastic Four movie that is coming up, I think 2025 or something, or 2026, around there. They keep pushing that movie so many times. Actually, a lot of the MCU movies are getting pushed, so I don't even know when this movie is supposed to come out now. I know it's not coming out next year because the only MCU movie coming out is Deadpool 3. So we got this information. Now, in the graphic here in the image, you see John Krasinski. So we had John Krasinski before in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. So we got a variant of him playing the character, and for years, I feel like this has been going on for way too long. We've been speculating, online, fans and myself included, I suppose, that John Krasinski will or should be Reed Richards, and he was in that little variant, a version of the character in Doctor Strange, but apparently he wasn't cast. And then earlier this year, then we heard a report that Adam Driver was offered the role of Reed Richards. I don't know how accurate that was. I don't know if they actually did offer it to Adam Driver and he just decided to not take it, or maybe it wasn't true in the beginning or in the first place. I have no idea, but he was another name out there that was going to play Reed Richards. And just throughout the months, I've been hearing a bunch of casting rumors, that all these other actors are going to portray, Chris Evans, the Human Torch. I'm thinking of Chris Evans because he played the character. Human Torch and some other characters in the Fantastic Four. This actor is playing that character, blah, blah, blah. And it was all just rumors and rumors and rumors. And then there was also information that was coming out that, that there was going to be the entire cast of the Fantastic Four was going to pop up at Comic-Con this year, and it was like a whole thing, and then that didn't happen, things like that. We actually have someone here in the live chat, Nicole Hufford. Video and sound is running perfect on my end. Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me know that. I really do appreciate that. Going back here to this report that Pedro Pascal was offered the role here. So let me try to get to the actual article here, because like I said, I'm going to use the Screen Rant one because I just think that the image, the actual picture looks better than the original one, which is from Deadline. So let me try to get there so I can show it to you guys. I'm going to share the screen, and then hopefully you guys can see it. Let me know if you can't. But again, we have here, this is from Screen Rant. We have here MCU Fantastic Four movie reportedly cast Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. We have Pedro Pascal may have been cast as Reed Richards in Marvel's Fantastic Four movie, although the deal is not yet finalized. Okay, so I guess there's a possibility that we're gonna hear later that no, that actually wasn't true, and it actually is not Pedro Pascal who's going to take the role, and it's going to extend the whole thing again. The other actors in the Fantastic Four cast could be announced by the end of 2023, stuff that I've heard before. There have been rumors about Vanessa Kirby and Joseph Quinn potentially joining the cast, but nothing has been confirmed yet. Those are kind of the most recent rumors about the Fantastic Four cast. Marvel's first family may have found its Reed Richards as Pedro Pascal has reportedly been cast in the Fantastic Four movie set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe ever since Disney acquired 20th Century Fox and the film rights for Fantastic Four and X-Men returned to Marvel Studios. A new movie about Marvel's first family has been widely anticipated, with the Fantastic Four movie release date set for May 2025. Okay, so that's the date. Who knows if it's going to be pushed yet again, but I guess that's the date as of now. Pre-production has ramped up this year, including the casting search. Today, there have been a flurry of reports surrounding Pedro Pascal being cast as Reed Richards in the MCU's Fantastic Four movie, with Daniel RPK first reporting he'd been offered the role. Then, Film reported their sources confirmed Pascal had officially signed the deal to play Mr. Fantastic. Finally, Deadline reported the deal is far from done, but the trade did confirm Pascal is in the talks with Marvel Studios to join the Fantastic Four cast. Deadline further noted that scheduling is still being worked out, but it looks like the actor and studio will reach a deal Marvel Studios has not yet commented on any of these reports, and this is the deadline page, so it's kind of like just white and kind of like plain, and it just looks like a regular article, which is, you know, what it was. So that's why they don't want to use it. But here's the source, deadline, and so that's the most concrete that we had when it comes to this casting of Reed Richards, or anyone in the Fantastic Four, for that matter. So I've heard this. You know, this came out a couple of days ago, I think. I want to say it was yesterday, but I'm not even sure if it was yesterday. But in the last 48 hours or so, this report was all over the internet. And I was starting to see that some people were not happy with this, right? So they were not pleased with Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. And like I said, I just want the cast. I mean, I'm interested to see Fantastic Four. I'm not super excited for it. Like, I like the characters and stuff like that, but Fantastic Four was never, you know, that comic book storyline or characters that I was really, really into growing up or anything like that. So it's not like X-Men. I'll be more interested in X-Men stuff, but I know that this has been, you know, throughout the internet since Disney bought out 20th Century Fox and therefore getting back the rights to Fantastic Four. We've had a few Fantastic Four movies and they weren't really received that well. So I think initially people were excited about Fantastic Four in the MCU because we've seen movies like, you know, Avengers, Infinity War, Iron Man, Captain America, all these other MCU movies that were high quality, and now we were going to have a Fantastic Four movie in the MCU, and people were very excited about it, right? Not so much lately, because I reported this, or not that I reported it, but I talked about reports that, you know, things are kind of chaotic right now in the MCU. We've seen the low quality lately when it comes to the latest phase in the MCU and stuff like that. You know, the Marvels just came out. I mean, I did watch it. I always had plan of watching it, and you know, I thought it was okay. You know, it was all right. It wasn't great or anything like that, but it was definitely better than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It was better than that movie. So I thought it was an okay movie in the Marvels. So that's the most recent effort that we have. So the quality has gone down. So, I mean, I don't know how many people are super excited about Fantastic Four considering the situation that we have with the MCU. But for whatever reason, people are not wanting Pedro Pascal to play the character. And the things that I've read and heard is that he doesn't look like Reed Richards. And I don't think that's really a reason to not want a specific actor to play a role. I guess one of the main things is, yes, we would like the actor to kind of look like the character. Yes, that is something that we would like. I would like, yes. But it shouldn't be the only thing, because we've seen examples where the actor portraying a specific character does not really look like the character on screen. So a couple of examples are, let's say, Hugh Jackman. You know, initially people were not liking the idea that Hugh Jackman, this actor who wasn't really well known at the time, that he was cast as Logan Wolverine, because, you know, Hugh Jackman is pretty tall, and, you know, the actor is or the character is really, really short, so they wanted someone to be short just like the character. But obviously that wasn't an issue. Now we can't imagine anyone else playing Wolverine. Of course, that's going to change. Who knows when, but obviously we will eventually have a new Wolverine. Another example, which is kind of like one of the biggest ones, is when Heath Ledger was cast as to portray the Joker in The Dark Knight. So that was kind of like out of left field. A lot of people were not having it then. We're not enjoying that idea either. And we saw what we saw, right? So we had one of the best performances, at least in my opinion, portraying the character. I would go as far as to say one of the best performances, period. Heath Ledger portraying the Joker got him an Oscar. You know, he already passed away, but he got an Oscar. That's the standard now. That's the bar now. Some other things too. You know, we have Robert Downey Jr. It wasn't really so much the look, but he was kind of like out of left field too when he was cast as Tony Stark. And then now we know what happened with the character. Now we want Robert Downey Jr. back, and you know, things like that. So I don't think it has anything to do with the look, you know, because as long as he looks somewhat like the character, or they can kind of portray the character, and it's a good actor, I think that's all we really need. It's not like Pedro Pascal hasn't done some good stuff. I mean, just lately, just this year, he was in The Last of Us, and I don't really remember if there was any backlash or not when it comes to him playing the character Joel in The Last of Us. I don't remember any backlash. Maybe there was. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, he kind of looked like the character, kind of not. But I mean, that didn't really matter, right? Because I think a lot of people liked Pedro Pascal in the character in The Last of Us. We have Nicole Hufford, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name, but it says, I agree, it's definitely one of the lesser known Marvels out there than the others. Referencing to the Fantastic Four series, I myself am looking forward more to X-Men, others than are more popular. Yeah, so yeah, I think most people are probably more excited for X-Men and stuff like that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with the Fantastic Four. And so that's the report that we have so far, that Pedro Pascal is playing Reed Richards. Like I said, some people were not liking this idea, and I just give you some examples where, you know, it doesn't really have to be an actor who looks like the character. Another example I just thought of right now. How about you know, Ben Affleck as Batman? There's a lot of people who actually didn't like Ben Affleck as Batman. They may not have liked, you know, the Snyderverse or Batman versus Superman. They may not have liked the movie itself, but they did like Ben Affleck as Batman. I liked him as Batman. He's not my favorite Batman, but I thought he did a pretty good job as a character. And he was another one that was kind of like out of left field. And I mean, the look was kind of like, well, he could look like Batman, like Bruce Wayne, or not, you know, whatever. But just a few examples. But I personally don't see the issue with Pedro Pascal playing the character. I'm sure he'll do a fine performance or whatever the case. But I don't know. Some people were just not liking that either. Some other things, you know, obviously Pedro Pascal has been in a lot of things lately. You know, Mandalorian. He was in Game of Thrones. That's when a lot of us were introduced to Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones. I think it was season 4 when he popped up. So I thought that the response would have been more positive with Pedro Pascal playing the character, but I guess a lot of fans and some of you guys aren't really that excited. Maybe they wanted John Krasinski, and maybe the idea of not having John Krasinski as Reed Richards is kind of hard. I mean, I don't know. All right, so that was it for the MCU stuff. And let me see. So the next thing here I want to talk about here today is my non-spoiler review of Thanksgiving. So that's Eli Roth's Thanksgiving movie. And so let me just play this trailer here.
This holiday season, prepare to have the stuffing scared out of you. Thanksgiving.
So we have this Thanksgiving movie that just came out last night, or came out today, and it is based on that fake trailer from the 2007 main event, or movie event, I should say, Grindhouse. So Grindhouse. So that was that movie that came out back then. We had this. We have two movies here back to back. You would go to the theater, and you would watch Planet Terror, which was directed by Robert Rodriguez, and then Death Proof, which was directed by Quentin Tarantino. It was a 3-hour thing. You would see this movie, and that's the way it was advertised, and that's the way it was showed. And then they added these little like fake trailers between the two movies. We have these little fake trailers, and one of them was Thanksgiving. And now Eli Roth, he directed that fake trailer, and then there were some other movies that were also fake trailers, like Machete, and they actually did make a movie of that. That was Robert Rodriguez's idea there, so they did make Machete, and then actually made Machete Kills, so they made a sequel of that. And there was some other movie, I forgot what it was called, that was also made into a movie, but this is actually the third one from the fake trailers that they're actually making it into a movie. And here we have, Thanksgiving. And, it's a horror movie. And for some of you guys who may not be familiar with Eli Roth, his movies are kind of, I would say a little ridiculous sometimes when it comes to the violence and, things like that. He directed Hostel, Cabin Fever, The Green Inferno, and he also co-starred with Brad Pitt in the Inglourious Bastards. So that was him as an actor, he wasn't a director or anything like that. But this movie, Thanksgiving, it was again directed by Eli Roth from a screenplay written by Jeff Rendell. And like I said, it is based on Roth's mock trailer of the same name from Grindhouse 2007. And then the other movie that I mentioned earlier is called Hobo with a Shotgun, 2011. So I guess that's when that movie came out. Like I said, I'm not familiar with it at all, but I guess that was one of the other movies that came out of those fake trailers. So again, when we do these non-spoiler reviews, so again, this is a non-spoiler review of Thanksgiving, so there'll be no spoilers here. So we have, we have the positives and the negatives that I usually like to go into when it comes to reviewing films and things like that. So that's not going to be any different here. We have Billy Go to 126 Chevo saying hi. So hello, Chevo. So Chevo is in the live chat right now. He's been in the channel before. It's been a while, but he's been in the channel before. So hello there, Chevo. So going into the non-spoiler review of Thanksgiving. So let's begin here. So we have, well, actually, let me just say this right off the bat here. And I think I always do this when I have a movie that I did actually like. So there's going to be a lot more positives than negatives in this movie. So a lot more pros, not so many cons. So that's a good thing. So one of the things that I liked about this, because I wasn't sure how this movie was going to actually turn out, because I just showed you the little clip of the trailer, of the fake trailer, and then it went into the actual real trailer for this movie. So I wasn't sure how Eli Roth was going to actually turn this into a movie, right? Was it going to be kind of like the way that we saw it in the trailer, with even like the look of making it look like it's older than it really is, or were they actually going to be like a contemporary, current timeline of the movie or whatever? That part I didn't know. So obviously it's set during contemporary times, during now, today. So that was one of the things that I was kind of trying to find out what would be part of this. And so we have this movie, and apparently this movie, or the fake trailer, is actually based on an idea that Eli Roth, who again is the director of this film, and his childhood friend, apparently when they were younger, when they were like I think like 12 years old or 11 years old, I guess they were probably like aspiring filmmakers or whatever the case, aspiring writers, big fans of horror and things like that. So because I did watch a couple of his interviews pertaining to this movie, So what he said is the idea of Thanksgiving actually came from him and his friend when they wanted to make a horror movie sometime in the future, just throwing out ideas like, wouldn't it be cool if we did this in the future or whatever. And I guess their idea was, we have Michael Myers and Halloween. We have some other horror movies that are set during Christmas. They are set during Valentine's Day, like what is that movie called? My Bloody Valentine or whatever. So we have all these characters that are based off a specific holiday or whatever. And since Eli Roth and his friend, they're from Massachusetts, so they always thought of, why don't we make a movie set in Thanksgiving, and then we have a killer that is set on Thanksgiving. We have Billy Goat Chevo says Eli Roth? A question mark. Let's see here. Hold on a second. It's kind of hard to read the comments from the screen here. Is it ultra violent? Yes, it's kind of like, if you haven't seen any Eli Roth movies, yes, they're very, very violent, but they're actually kind of like ridiculous when it comes to some of the way that the violence is presented. It's kind of hard to explain. If you haven't seen an Eli Roth movie, yes, it is definitely very, very violent, and it's just like how weird. Not as violent as, let's say, Hostel. I think Hostel is still more violent. But yeah, so that was just a little side note there. So going back here to the original idea of Thanksgiving. So again, Eli Roth and his friend, why don't we have a Thanksgiving themed horror movie that's, the characters based on the holiday? And I guess they're originally, right? So they were like, let's have a pilgrim, and they used kind of like a pilgrim type of killer or whatever for the fake trailer. So now that they come up with the idea of there were governor based on John Carver was one of the pilgrims who braved the Mayflower voyage in 1620, which resulted in the creation of Plymouth colony in America. He is Einer, and he was also the first governor at Thanksgiving. Right, so then they looked at a photo of him, like a portrait, well, not like an actual photo, but like a portrait, like a painting of his appearance, and then they use that as the mask. So maybe you've seen, like you see right here, that's kind of like the mask. That's what John Carver is supposed to look like, or was looking like back then. Let's see here. Billy Goat again says here. He says campy gore type. Yeah, I guess so. Campy, a little bit campy, but not super campy. I mean, yes, it's definitely there, but there's been some other more ridiculous campy that it's not good. Like, for some reason, Eli Roth is able to actually balance it. Hofer says, I can't do scary, or they're too gory or too bloody or whatever. But it is what it is. But going back here, so that was kind of like the original ideas of this. Now, the other thing that Eli Roth also said is that one of the victims in the movie, not in real life, but one of the victims in the movie, that one of the people that gets killed by the killer here, John Carver, or the killer wearing the John Carver mask, apparently one of the actual actors playing the victim is actually connected to the whatever. So according to Roth, one of the victims in Thanksgiving is an actual blood relative of John Carver, which I find that pretty cool. And then I know who it is. I know who was the actor or actress performing the character and that was killed. I'm not going to say who it was because that would be spoiler territory, and this is a non-spoiler review, but one of the victims in Thanksgiving. So that was one of the positive things. The design, the killer design, the whole idea that I just explained to you guys based on Eli Roth, that is definitely one of the things that I really, really liked about this movie. The opening scene, and let me see if I can get I don't think I have an image of I don't think I have an image of the opening scene, but you might have seen the actual trailer of the movie. You might have seen that. So there's a part where they're talking about it's Black Friday, and again, I'm not gonna get into details of it because again, that would be very spoilery. But it has something to do with Black Friday, and that opening scene was a lot of fun. Like I said, if you're into horror, it definitely has its bloodiness, its goriness. So that's definitely there. So I like the opening. I thought it was really cool. Another positive thing here is, I kind of already mentioned this, but we have the ridiculousness. There's actually a decent amount of funny scenes in the middle of the horror ambience, right? So there's a lot of that going on here, and it works because it could have been really, really bad. You know, I think it would be hard to balance something like that when it comes to something that is supposed to be kind of campy and funny, and yet horror. And there's a lot of like goriness, gore and blood and all this other stuff. So he was able to blend this and balance it together, and it worked really, really well. And there's one particular scene that I'm thinking in my head right now, no pun intended, regarding heads, like actual heads. You'll know what I'm talking about if you watch this movie, which you definitely should. That was kind of hilarious. So that's another positive, another pro from this movie here. Now the kills, which I kind of mentioned this a little bit. The kills in this horror movie, obviously there's a lot of kills, a lot of, like I said, blood and things like that. Is the way that the victims are killed, right? So they're very creative ways, and Eli Roth does that a lot when it comes to his kills in his films. He finds like creative ways of presenting them, and there's definitely a lot of them here, and some of them are like so ridiculous that you just like I think I started busting out laughing in a couple of them. But it was fun. Like, it still worked. Everything was still good and everything. So that was definitely a positive, a good thing there. And just the characters, there's some characters. There's some that are not really likable, but you're not supposed to like them. This character that you see here on screen, I believe he was in Hostel as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's worked with Eli Roth before. And then his character, he's kind of not likable, but you understand the whole thing, I guess, towards the end. But yeah, it's just the characters are much better than other typical horror movies. And I'm not saying that these are great characters, amazing characters, or anything like that. That's not different what I'm saying, but yeah. So let me get into some of the negatives. So there are a couple of negatives. Like I said, not as many as the positives, but there are a couple of negatives there. And within the ridiculousness, like I said, the craziness is a positive. But some scenes were so like random and unnecessary that I'll say that didn't work. So there was a couple that, yeah, they did not work. There weren't that many. Definitely there were not that many, and they were very short. They weren't like a long sequence or anything like that. But there were a couple of things that someone says something or does something that's like, well, that's like dumb. It's like, it doesn't, like, why even add that in there? It's kind of dumb. But overall, it wasn't long. It was kind of short or whatever. So I would say that would be a negative there. And again, I don't want to get into details because, like I said, it's a non-spoiler review of the movie. And then another thing is, I'm also not a fan of, fake jump scares just in general. When I was younger, like, I liked them because, like, ooh, little jump scare. And I was like, I liked them when I was younger. But, like, as an adult, it's like, especially, or I should say mainly, when it's fake jump scares, when they like bump into someone, and then they cue the sound, the horror sound or the suspenseful sound or music or whatever, and ends up not being anything. This happens once or twice, I think, in this movie, and I think that's it. I don't think there's that many moments or instances like that throughout the movie, but that would definitely be a negative. I never really liked that as an adult. So it does have that. So it definitely could have been, we could have gone without all that stuff, right? So yeah, so that's, again, like I said, this is the Thanksgiving non-spoiler review, Eli Roth, and I'll give you my overall thoughts here about the movie. Like I said, it just came out last night. Today is the first full day that is out in theaters. Now, while I was watching some of the interviews and reading some of the articles with Eli Roth, like I said, the director of Thanksgiving, is he's always pushing that you should see it in the theater. And this is something that I always say myself. I think a lot of like big film buffs or like aspiring filmmakers in the past or current, I think we always advocate for watching it in theaters. And this is definitely one of them. Eli Roth was just pushing, you guys should watch this movie in theaters with a big group, opening weekends, so that you can get the reaction from the audience, especially with all the craziness and the kills and the horror stuff that goes on in this movie. I definitely recommend you to do that. Like I said, if you're not a big horror fan, that you don't like anything gory at all, if you've seen some of Eli Roth's movies in the past that you didn't like, then obviously I don't think that you would like this. Overall, I did like Thanksgiving. The expectations that I had for this movie, especially a movie like this, and from the fake trailers that we first saw in 2007's Grindhouse movie event, Thanksgiving did meet my expectations. And I really do think it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. We have another holiday-themed horror movie, right? Thanksgiving, set in Massachusetts, set in Plymouth, Thanksgiving, Pilgrims, John Carver. We don't know who the killer is, so it has a little bit of a Scream thing, or like an urban legends thing, or like I Know What You Did Last Summer type of thing. For all those people who like those slasher movies from the 90s, it has a little bit of flavor of that, so I like that. And just overall, it was a fun experience. It was a fun, movie going experience, and I'm glad I watched it in theaters, and I think all you guys should watch it in theaters too. So I'll be like Eli Roth and push that, right? So like I always do with these movies, it's either see it, stream it, or skip it, and then I give you a grade of the movie. So obviously Thanksgiving is a see it. Definitely see it. If you can watch it in theaters, it's best that you see it in theaters, in my opinion. I am going to give it a B+, which is pretty high. I mean, I think it's pretty high. I rarely give like an A- or anything higher in movies, because I don't know, it's just like, it has to be very more like in the perfection range. But this is just my opinion. Obviously, the movie canon, Thanksgiving is a see it, grade B+. And actually in 2023, there's been a lot better movies than last year. Like there's a lot more movies this year that I watched that I actually really liked, compared to last year. I think last year I had maybe like one A- movie. This year I've already had like 3, and then obviously this movie here, it's pretty high, at least in my opinion. So definitely see it. Like I said, if you're a big horror fan, I would recommend you watch it, before Thanksgiving or during Thanksgiving or whatever. So those are my thoughts on Eli Roth's Thanksgiving movie. So there we go with that one, and let me see. So I think we're gonna get into the figures talk segment. So like I always say when I do these episodes of the Met Report specifically, I added a figures talk segment, and I usually hold it till the end to start talking about the 1/6 scale community, hot toys and things like that towards the end, because I know some people are just not interested, and then while I'm doing it live, some people are not interested, and it's up to you if you want to watch it or not. But I've included these 1/6 scale figures talk segment into the Met Report, and we've gotten to that part now. So we have Ahsoka the White from the Ahsoka series. So this week, it has been very, very slow. There hasn't been much news, much information from Hot Toys, or actually just in general, I guess. There was only one release that came out earlier this week, Gilgamesh from Eternals, which I'll talk about very briefly. But that was the only information that we had this week up until this morning. This morning they announced this figure, Ahsoka the White from the series. And there's actually, let me see if I can share my screen again here. So hold on a moment here while I get in there. Okay, so hopefully you can see the page. Hopefully you guys can see the page here, right? So again, this is Ahsoka the White. So they've announced other figures within the Ahsoka series line. Last week I talked about, I think it was Merrick. I think it was last week. Yeah, Merrick, the Inquisitor, who was like barely in the series. But we all knew that eventually they're going to announce an Ahsoka Tano. And this specifically Ahsoka the White. So this is what we have now. So we have this Ahsoka the White figure that was just announced. And just looking at the photos here, let me see the base. You can see right here, it looks pretty good. But the main thing here is, because we've had an Ahsoka Tano figure before from The Mandalorian season 2, and so we have a reference, and this one does look this looks a lot better. Rosario Dawson, the likeness of the actress is so much better here. Now this is, I will go as far as say that it's as perfect as it could possibly be, I would say. So that's Rosario Dawson, and she looks so much better than the one that they announced or they released from Mandalorian season 2. So we have here interchangeable face sculpts with separate rolling eyeballs. So there's 2 head sculpts, and here's a comparison from the Ahsoka Tano from the Mandalorian season 2 Hot Toys figure to the new one that we just got. And it says here, newly developed Leku with increased length. So the little thing on her head, the Leku, it's they made it longer. I'm assuming that's probably how it's supposed to be in the first place, but it is longer, and they're mentioning that here. And the face, you can tell the difference. Now the one from Mandalorian, I mean, I thought it was it's fine. I don't think it was bad or anything, but it was definitely still a little off. But this one, I think they perfected it. She definitely looks much better here. And this is the second head sculpt. The one that she's more like aggressive, like about to go into battle, or she is battling. So they added this one. And again, here's the base. Looks pretty good. And, a lot of people were expecting her, and we just didn't know if they're going to use the same head sculpt, or they were going to change it, or they were just going to change the clothes, because obviously the clothes are different. We have Ahsoka the White, kind of like the whole Gandalf thing. Gandalf the Gray, Gandalf the White, Ahsoka the Gray, Ahsoka the White. So we figured we would have another figure from Ahsoka from her own series, and they just announced this today. So she looks really, really good. The likeness is definitely there. And there's another picture here with Sabine, another figure, or actually the first one that was announced from Hot Toys. And I think she looks really, really good. So now some of the other questions that myself and other collectors is, did they wait until the end to show the best figure, meaning this Ahsoka figure, is the last one from the line, from the Ahsoka series line. That we don't know. So, I mean, they waited until now. I think this is I want to say the 6th figure. And is it the last one from the line, or they're just not going to make any more? Because I know there's the Balin and then the Shin and some of the Night Troopers that they could make. I mean, I don't know if they're going to, but that was definitely one of the questions there. The image that you see here, it says here, all new joint designs allowing wider range of articulations. Because I know there was an issue. Now, I don't have this figure myself. I don't have an Ahsoka Hot Toys. But, you know, throughout the 6-scale community, there's always an issue with, I guess there's been an issue with the elbows, with the arm. I guess there's some kind of a problem with it, with the joints. And so that is one of the questions, or at least some of the hope is that they fix that. If the joints have been fixed and there's no issues with this new Ahsoka. Obviously the head sculpt is improved, or has been improved, and maybe they changed everything else too. But so yeah, so that's Ahsoka. And then actually let's get to the price here. So the price of the figure, and like I mentioned this many times, you know, we have always present the price for Sideshow, right? So Sideshow is the one that I usually go. So we have $300 for this Ahsoka, the white figure. Expected to ship between October 2024 through March 2025. Yeah, so I was actually expecting this to be maybe like $275. That's kind of what I was thinking it would be. But obviously I was off by $25. It's $300. But then I didn't consider that, you know, there's actually a second head sculpt that the other one didn't have, from my understanding. So maybe that's why it's $300. So that's at Sideshow. Obviously, you can go to other sites to order or pre-order this. But like I mentioned many times, I usually use Sideshow for now anyways, because, you know, they're close. Customer service apparently it's good and things like that. I haven't had any problem with them or whatever. So, but that's the price if you want to pre-order it from Sideshow. I mean, like I said, it's gonna be over a year before you get this. But for this one now, gonna get to the releases here. So there's only 2 others here. So Hot Toys released, made the announcement today that they have released the Spider-Man Peter Parker 2.0 from the Spider-Man 2 games. So this is one on pre-order not too long ago, just a few months ago, and it's already good to go apparently. So let me go back to get some more images here for the Spider-Man one. So again, this is based on the video game, right? Spider-Man 2 that just came out. So here's some more images here. I do like this picture here when he's like basically like flying in the air, basically with his spider arms or whatever. So that looks really cool. So this one came out fairly quickly. I mean, they've made one of these before, so this is the 2.0. So obviously it didn't take that long to make another one. The Miles Morales one from the Spider-Man 2 game, the one that you see right here, that one's already out too. So that one was released, I think, 2 weeks ago or so. Whenever they announced the Venom version of it, that's when that one came out. So both the Spider-Man Peter Parker and the Miles Morales from the Spider-Man 2 game, the Hot Toys figure has been released. And I don't remember if this one was a limited one or not. That might be the reason why it also was released so quickly, because there was only so many that they were going to make anyway. So yeah, so these are the couple images here. So this one is now out. So both of the Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2 have been released from Hot Toys. And if it's anything just like the other game, the first one, they're probably going to start releasing some other some other figures, other Spider-Men, with different outfits or whatever. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So maybe they're just like getting those out of the way or whatever. So yeah, I mean, all these look cool. I mean, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. But like I said, I've said this before. I've only pre-ordered one, and that's the Tom Holland red and blue from Spider-Man No Way Home. That one is not out yet. But again, this is from the game, so very, very cool looking figure here. It has been released, so if you pre-ordered this, a couple months ago, then you should be getting that fairly quickly, maybe within a month or so, I would think, since I think the release is actually from Hong Kong, and then they send it to Sideshow, and then Sideshow sends it out to you if you bought it from Sideshow or whatever. So that was one of the releases. This was released today, right? So then there's another one here. Let me get back over here. There's another release, and this is the one that I mentioned earlier. The character from Eternals, Gilgamesh. We have Matthew in the chat says limited, yes. Oh, so he's just confirming that the Spider-Man 2.0 Peter Parker was also limited. So yeah, so maybe that's why they finished that figure fairly quickly. So the next one here is Gilgamesh from Eternal. So this is the one that they announced that was released earlier this week. I think it was on Monday. It was on Monday when Hot Toys said this is now going to be released. And so this is the only information that we had all week until today. And as far as the character, I'm not, the character's fine. The likeness, the figure itself looks perfect. He definitely looks perfect. And I believe this actor, he's famous or more famous in Asia than here. And I guess maybe that's why they decided to make this figure and not all the other ones. Because they only made 2 Eternal figures, Hot Toys. And the other one was what's the other character's name? I think it's Athena. I think it's Athena. Angelina Jolie. So obviously they were going to make Angelina Jolie Eternals figure, Hot Toys figure, and then him. So those are the only 2, and there's a lot more other Eternal characters that they didn't make. But this one, like I said, I think it's maybe because he's more famous in Asia, and they were gonna just do that. And then obviously Angelina Jolie, she's famous everywhere, so maybe that's why they decided to go with her as one of the figures. But as far as the movie itself, because I know this movie wasn't received well, both critically, financially, and I think even from just regular, just fans in general, viewers, audiences, and so forth. I actually did like Eternals. I'm like one of the few people who actually did like Eternals. I thought there was just a lot of stuff going on with the storyline. I like that they go back in time and to different locations, and it kind of explains their existence in a way or whatever, and just the way the story was told. I thought it was interesting, and I did like Eternals, but a lot of people did not. Box office wise, it didn't do that well. I mean, it did come out in 2021. That was the first year when they just kind of slowly started to allow people to go to the theaters again after COVID. So maybe that's why it didn't do so well. But I mean, ultimately the critics also didn't like it, so the reviews weren't that good either, so I'm sure that didn't help. But here's some other images here of Eternals, and I'm trying to remember what kind of powers he has. I think he was just like very, very strong, if I remember this, because I know he was protecting the Angelina Jolie character, because she has like some like issues. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, that sometimes she needs someone to be with her. Actually, I think most of the time she needs someone to be with her, and this is the guy that's like protecting her and helping her and things like that. But yes, if I remember this, I think his power is just that. I think he's just like very, very strong. I don't remember if he flies or not, but I know he's definitely very, very strong. So that's Gilgamesh from Eternals. Figure just released. Obviously, I didn't pick him up. Or here's the one with Angelina Jolie, which I don't remember the name of her character. I think it's Athena or Athena, something like that. So those are the only two Eternals Hot Toys figures that they've announced and released, and I don't think they're going to actually make any other Eternals characters. I don't know what they're going to do with. I think they were planning on doing a sequel. I don't know if they're actually still going to do a sequel with the whole chaos with MCU, which we've talked about for a while already, for the last 2 weeks or so. So I don't know if they're actually going to do another Eternals movie or not, but yeah. So that's the most recent release. So that was Gilgamesh. So yeah, guys. So just let me know about give me your thoughts about any of these figures, or this one, or the Spider-Man one, or the Ahsoka the White. So let me know your thoughts there in the comments section below. Okay, so I think that's it for the Figures Talk segment. So let me see here. Okay, so now, yeah, so that's it for the Figures Talk segment. So again, we talked about Pedro Pascal being offered the role of Reed Richards. I did my non-spoiler review of Thanksgiving's, if it's a see it, stream it, or skip it. So I did that. And this Figures Talk segment, Ahsoka TANO, the White announcement from the series, and then obviously the release of the Spider-Man Peter Parker 2.0 from the Spider-Man 2 game, and then Gilgamesh from Eternals, that release. So that's what we talked about here today. So going back to the Funkos, because I said I'll go back to this. So this Funko Pop giveaway from the Gingerbread Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's is open. I didn't actually, I knew this IP. I knew that Five Nights at Freddy's was popular, right? Based on the games, and now the movie. I knew it was liked, but I didn't anticipate these Funko Pops to be as desirable as they are. So yes, I've been getting so many messages from this specific giveaway from Foxy that a lot of people want him or want this character. I don't know if it's a him or not, but they want this character. And so yeah, so it's still open. I will let you guys know when I announce the winner. So it is still open. So again, if you have not entered yet, subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Movie Canon, if you haven't done so already, for future content and future giveaways. But this giveaway is still open. I've met more than the minimum entries that I usually set. I'm way past that, so I'm definitely giving Foxy or Gingerbread Foxy away. It's just a matter of how. If I'm leaning towards doing it live, that you have to watch it live when I do it. We see, Matthew is in the group chat, says Athena. I was talking about Athena. Okay, the Angelina Jolie character. And then Matthew also says they need to make more of the Insomniac Spider-Man 2.0. I haven't played the game, so I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm sure a lot of you guys who've played the game, you know what he's talking about. We have Nicole Hooford says, love that character. So I'm assuming you're referring to Gingerbread Foxy, because I think that's when that message popped up when I was talking about Gingerbread Foxy. So yes, so Gingerbread Foxy is still open. I am leaning towards possibly announcing the winner live, either on my channel or on Instagram. I'm probably on my YouTube channel, probably one of my, and then obviously you'll follow the other instructions, having an address with the United States, being a subscriber and or follower, and all the other stuff still apply. But you would also have to be watching live. Now, here's the thing to the ones who are watching live. Because so far, I've only just started doing this live giveaway winner announcements. I haven't been getting that many people popping up to these live streams. So, if you show up to these live stream winner announcements, your chances of winning are very, very high, because there's only so many that are popping up. Last time I think I only got like 11 people that popped up for the live stream. Some people like popped up later. Like I got messages and asking like, oh, did I miss it or whatever. So if you watch this live when I do that, and I do set like a minimum number of viewers, like 10 or 20 or whatever. So if you watch live and you did all the other stuff, your chances are really, really high that you actually win this. And again, must have a mailing address with the United States. So that's the Gingerbread Foxy. Same thing. I'm leaning towards doing a live stream. I actually have a lot of giveaways right now for a few reasons, right? First of all, it's, we're getting into the Christmas season or whatever. So it's a time to give. So we'll do that. The giveaways are also to you guys too. So that's another thing. Also, I'm also on the road to cross that 1,000 subscribers road, I guess you can say. So we're getting close to that. So I'm also trying to push that to get there. So with your support, with your help, we can get to 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by the end of 2023. That's the goal. So I'm doing these giveaways for those reasons. Also, and I announced this earlier, I am giving this one away. I still don't really know how many people are actually really interested in this, but this is a Hot Toys Cos Baby. They're more popular in Asia, from my understanding, but I am giving this Batman Robert Pattinson Hot Toys Cos Baby giveaway. We have Nicole Hofer saying, congratulations on the subscribers. Well, thank you so very much. I mean, we haven't hit the 1,000 yet, but that's kind of like what we're trying to get. Okay, so then the one that I am announcing and opening today is the Santa Jack Funko Pop. So I'm opening this right now. This is the next giveaway. So that's what, the fourth one? This is the fourth one that is open. There's another one that I'm going to talk about in just a bit. I am opening a fifth one later. I'll tell you which one it is in just a bit. But I'm opening this one now. So if you are watching live right now and you are interested in this Santa Jack, say in the live chat right now, tell me if you're subscribed or following the page or whatever for the Movie Canon, and just say that you are interested in this Santa Jack. While we're live right now, I'll add your name twice, in addition to all the other stuff, to being a subscriber. And if you're a follower, and if you did all the other things that you could potentially add your name to it, and then it just gives you more chances, right? So if you're watching this live and you're interested in this, let me know now. But it will open. I will officially post the Funko Pop giveaway, requirements, the entry or whatever, on my Instagram page at the Movie Canon. I'll do that soon, either today or tomorrow, one of those, so other people can actually start and enter this giveaway for the ones who are not watching live. So that's the Santa Jack. And then the other one here is this one. So I am doing a Santa Freddy. So I know that was one of the ones that I mentioned earlier. I did a poll as to who would like, which of these should be in the giveaway. And actually the Santa Freddy was actually kind of close. Ultimately the Gingerbread Foxy one, and that's why that one's a giveaway. So the Santa Freddy was very, very close. So I decided I'm just gonna add him now. So he's gonna be a giveaway opening soon. Not yet, but I'll let you guys know soon about if you want this one here. We have Yomo. Oh, hello there, Yomo. One of our fellow collectors. Thank you so much for watching this live. Thank you so much. So again, this giveaway, this Santa Freddy will be opening soon. I'll let you guys know when. We have Nicole Hofer saying, I am interested in the Santa Jack. Also subscribe and follow. Okay, perfect. So we have Nicole Hofer. So I'll add your name twice just on the simple fact that you're watching live. So your name is entered twice. And then when we get to the actual winners, your name will be entered for being a subscriber, for being a follower, and any other things that you might have done. Let me know if you did anything else. And then when I actually do the live giveaway, be present, because your name will be entered, it looks like multiple times now, so you have a good chance of getting this Santa Jack Skellington Funko Pop giveaways. So there you go. Okay, so going back here, so I'll be opening this one soon. Again, if you watch this live when I open this, just like Nicole Hufford just did right now, your name will be entered to that. Okay, so that's it for the latest episode of the Met Report. Thank you so much for you guys for watching this live, and or even if you watch this in the replay. So thank you so very much for that. So that'll conclude it. I'm currently at work. Oh, no problem. So thank you so much for tuning in, even if it was just for a little bit. Greatly appreciate it. I am trying to get a little bit more viewers and stuff like that, so that you know, more live streams and things like that. So thanks so much for you guys watching that. And again, the Funko Pop giveaways are open. I'm gonna have 5 for Thanksgiving, one of the Funkos that I mentioned, right? So yeah, so just keep an eye out for that. Follow me on Instagram so you get more updates on things like that, you know, when I'm doing streams, when I'm doing giveaways and things like that. And then subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. So again, thank you so much everyone for watching, and I will see you guys next time.